It's Ken in for Joanne. Happy to be here. Happy to have you listening to us here on a Sunday morning. Chris Abel is with Joanne on the weekends. He's a tech expert and has great stories every week for you. And he's on the line. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
We're going to talk about a new kind of variety store, smart variety store that's opened out on the West Coast in the U.S. But first, I want to get to this story that I've been teeing up because it's interesting and it's important. There's new technology that you've become aware of that is designed to prevent distracted driving, which is a problem out there.
Yes, distracted driving is one of the leading causes of car accidents. It's something that I've been talking about for years. It's really important, and it's one of the trickiest problems to solve because you can get everyone to agree that distracted driving is something that we should try to avoid, but getting people to actually stop doing it, that's the trick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just human nature. You get an emotional text message, you get an emotional phone call. It's really, really hard to then focus on what you're doing when you're driving. So we have the rise of a number of companies that are trying to offer solutions that will, right now, are working with companies that have fleets of cars and vehicles. So delivery companies, companies that have drivers, who do all sorts of operations. And what they're doing is they have a system that can be installed into the vehicle. This is a small receiving box and 4 sensors that all can be hidden inside the car so the driver doesn't know the location of any of them. And what this does is that it can scan the inside of the car and know the location of any smartphone that's being used.
Wow.
And specifically, it knows exactly the smartphone being used by the driver. And not just the driver, but anyone sitting behind the wheel of the vehicle. The system will immediately know what phone belongs to them, or phones plural. So even if you have multiple phones on you, it all knows these are the phones that belong to the driver. And the moment that it determines that, it can remotely set the phones to go into safe mode, which means the phones will not place phone calls or receive phone calls or text messages unless it comes from a selected list of pre-approved contacts by the company themselves. And so this way, when the driver's operating the vehicle and going through business, they will not be able to be contacted or receive any of those kinds of messages that may draw their attention off from doing their job.
Chris, I'm curious, what's the status of this technology right now? Are automakers looking at it? Is there a pilot project? What's going on with it?
It's early days. Right now, one of the main companies that's launching this technology called Saver One is working with FedEx. And FedEx is testing it out in North Carolina and Philadelphia, where they're having their drivers run around with the systems. What they've noticed so far, again, we don't have great metrics, but they're saying that they've seen a dramatic drop, that their drivers went from checking their phones 10 times per hour to almost 0 times now. So it seems to make a very noticeable difference. And I think for anyone who's worried, okay, because I think the immediate response is going to be, if I have this and I'm the driver, I'm now worried because there may be an emergency. My family or friends may be trying to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that my phone can't do anything. Well, no, the great part is that if you need to make a phone call or anything, all you need to do is just stop the vehicle, pull over, get out. The moment that you are walking away, you're no longer close to the driver's side of the car.
Right.
Your phone will return to normal. You can keep going.
Interesting. I like it. All right, Chris, let's move on to this new kind of smart variety store that has opened in Los Angeles. Tell me about it.
Yes, it's called VendHub. And basically they've taken the idea of a vending machine and have converted it into the size of a large building, a variety store. In that you walk in, there's a small little lobby, and you can pull out your phone and use an app to place an order of the kind of things that you want at a convenience store. What soft drinks, what potato chips, that kind of thing that you want. And then the second half, the building where all the aisles are and the shelves, you have a set of robots. These are the kind of robots that are basically a large arm with a camera on them and a set of wheels. And the robots do all your shopping for you. They go up and down the aisles, they grab all your potato chips and all the snacks that you want, collect it into a little basket, bring it to a little chute, and then that chute drops everything down to a window. And then you just simply open up the window, you collect your items, you can leave. Everything's done through the app in terms of payment.
Chris, it sounds a lot like what I do for my wife about twice a week at the local grocery store.
What they say is interesting is that not only is this something that is going to automate the process, make it faster for people to go in and get stuff, the actual building is something that can be packed up and put on the back of a flatbed truck. And so it can be delivered to any area, any space.
Wow.
You go to an empty parking lot, you can drop it down, ta-da, instant variety store. And so they say there's lots of rural communities that in the past or traditionally don't have the ability to support a variety store. They can now have one. I love, my favorite part of this is how the robots pick out the products that they grab for you. They actually can identify everything using almost like facial recognition, but it's like gumball recognition or soda pop recognition. When you see what the camera sees, it's amazing that these things immediately know, oh, that's a bottle of Minute Maid. Oh, that's a box of, Junior Mints.
Sure.
Hey, that's Fanta, but it's pineapple versus strawberry.
Wow, very impressive. All right, something to keep an eye on. And finally, Chris, it's a big weekend here in Montreal. Of course, you have the Grand Prix, and also on the way to movie theaters is this Brad Pitt movie, the F1. He's got the Formula One movie as well.
That's right, starring Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem. The key thing is, it's a classic story of a Formula One driver who's coming out of retirement to train a smaller, younger driver. What's neat is that this is a movie designed for IMAX, but there's a great experience if you watch it on your iPhone.
Ooh.
Apple has come out with a special version of the trailer that if you play it on your iPhone, and sadly it's only for iPhones, using the Apple TV app, when the trailer plays, it activates your phone's haptic technology. That's the technology that causes your phone to vibrate when anything happens on your phone. Now when the phone vibrates, it vibrates at the frequencies that perfectly match the noises and sounds of the movie in the trailer. So
it's synced up with the movie.
It's right. In fact, now when you're holding the phone, it feels like your phone is speeding up, or your phone is making a left turn or a right turn. I believe we have some sounds of the trailer we can play.
Yeah. Fire that again, Jimmy. Go ahead, if you can. Oh yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Wow. Very impressive, Chris. Are you an F1 fan yourself?
I am. In fact, I have a couple of years ago reporting for CTV News, I went to the Grand Prix in Montreal and got to go behind the scenes with Ferrari.
Oh.
So I've actually spent time with the Ferrari pit crew. An amazing experience. I mean, their paddock is just insane. Not only is it clean, like, you expect it to be clean enough to eat off the floor. No, it's clean enough you could perform human surgery there. And I'm saying this as someone who grew up in machine shops. I was blown away. It's amazing.
Well, Ferrari doesn't mess around. Chris, always interesting stuff. Thanks for this morning, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks. You too.